Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ulrike and I am a K-beauty and skincare content creator and just general skincare enthusiast. Winter has arrived here in Europe. I don't know what it's like wherever you live, but here in Germany it's freezing and we had snow, which is quite unusual actually. For December, White Christmas, I cannot even remember the last time I had a White Christmas, so everyone is very overwhelmed by the sudden outburst, the wintry outburst, and thus I thought this is the perfect time to introduce you to 3 moisturizers, Korean moisturizers that are specifically designed to be ideal winter moisturizers. They are thick, they are super nourishing, they still have elegant textures, and I think many of you will enjoy them now that winter has hit the Northern Hemisphere. The first moisturizer you've already seen on my channel, I think at least once, if not twice, because I'm slightly obsessed with this cream. And I'm not the only one, because it is probably one of the most popular moisturizers in Korea at the moment. And it was the same last year during winter time, because there are very few moisturizers, I would say, that are as great when it comes to dry skin care, skin barrier repair, and just emollient goodness. And it is, of course, the AESTURA Atobarrier 365 cream, which comes in a pretty big 75, I think, milliliter tube. This one is not cheap. Usually you can find deals on Olive Young for this cream. Olive Young is kind of the best, I would say, address for buying AESTURA products. They may not always have the cheapest prices, but they very often have value packs which come out cheaper. They had a 1+1 deal for a really long time, and they always have some form of sale running for AESTURA. And AESTURA really is a fantastic brand. It's an Amore Pacific brand. If you have problems with your skin barrier, if you have dry skin, if you have sensitive skin, I did a whole video on AESTURA, so check that out if you're interested in the brand. This is probably their best known product, and also I think their most popular product. This is a really thick, really intensely moisturizing emollient, so skin softening, and also occlusive, so sort of a water locking, I guess, barrier forming type of cream. The special thing about this cream is, first of all, its texture. I'll make sure to put in a little texture shot. It's always a little bit difficult to capture why the texture is so amazing, but basically it has these little capsules, oil capsules in it. It's called the Derma On technique or technology, I think it's called, Derma On technology. And basically it's encapsulated, I think, oils or fatty acids that then kind of meld into the texture to make it even richer and make it even more moisturizing. The reason why I love this so much, I actually have combo skin, so you would think a thick cream like that would be too much for me, would break me out or just feel stifling, but this never feels like that. I even use this in summer when I just felt my skin barrier was a little bit weakened, or in general I felt my skin from all the hay fever. The hay fever season was the worst in 2022. I've never experienced anything like it. I get very inflamed skin, I get rashes on my skin, and this cream was really my savior. It just really calmed everything down, and it just has this nourishing quality without feeling heavy. You will notice that it is heavy if you have oily skin. I would be a little bit careful if you are okay with this one. But even for combo skin, I would say this can work really, really well, especially in winter, because we need something with a little bit more moisturizing and emollient qualities. It has this just silky texture that just glides onto the skin and you feel its richness, but you don't feel overwhelmed by it. For skin barrier issues, compromised skin barrier, and very dry skin people, this is absolutely wonderful. It is also alcohol and fragrance free. So if you're very sensitive, I would also say try this one for the winter. There are a few creams that are better than this, except the one that I'm going to introduce next. The second moisturizer, Korean moisturizer, that I think is just ideal for winter. It is another favorite in Korea. One, apart from the AESTURA cream, probably one of the most popular moisturizers during winter. Once autumn hit, you can always see this cream kind of rising back to the top 10 at Olive Young very, very quickly, because the Koreans just love it. And now that I've tried it, and I've been wanting to try it for a long time, I can fully understand why, because it is excellent. And it is the Real Barrier Extreme Cream, which comes in this jar. And I got it in a value pack, so I also had a little one, like a 20 ml one, but I gave that to someone with very dry skin who was having skin issues, and of course she loves it because like it is an amazing cream. So Real Barrier. Real Barrier, a really popular brand in Korea that I don't know how well known it is in the West. I know they actually have a US shop. And I think now they're kind of working more with influencers here in the West, but they have been very popular and very successful for many, many years in Korea already. So I don't know what the status is at the moment, to be honest, if like popular English-speaking skinfluencers talk about Real Barrier or not. I actually got to know this cream from Sue Beauty, who is a YouTuber, Korea-based. She does English-speaking content though, and she always raved about this cream, so I was really, really keen to try it. And the thing about this cream is, it is actually one of the few, I think only one of two creams that is allowed to advertise itself as a skin barrier restoring and repairing cream. So in Korea, and I learned all of this from Odile Monod, so if you don't follow her yet on YouTube, you should, because she actually explains a lot of the ins and outs of the Korean beauty industry, and especially when it comes to regulations, cosmetics regulations, she's the #1 source for any information on that. So in Korea, there's a special skincare or in makeup as well, a beauty product category called functional cosmetics. Functional cosmetics are any type of cosmetics that perform a function, right? For instance, sunscreens are functional cosmetics. As soon as a Korean brand claims a specific function for a product, let's say wrinkle care or whitening or smoothing, or I don't know, any sort of specific function, they need to actually prove that this product performs said function. UV protection, right? That's why sunscreens need to get tested in order to show, here, our sunscreen product actually does protect from the sun. Same for wrinkle care. If you say this reduces wrinkles by 30%, you better have a test to back that up, or else you get fined by the MFDS, which is the Korean FDA. And so if you say that your cream repairs or restores the skin barrier, you're only allowed to say that if you actually have done some form of test to prove that. And Real Barrier, or the parent company, I think is called Atobarrier, apparently was able to prove that, because this cream runs under functional cosmetics, and they are allowed to say that this helps to restore your skin barrier. And there's only one other cream who's allowed to do that. I forgot what it's called, but it's also an Atobarrier cream, and it's also super, super popular in Korea. So the Real Barrier Extreme Cream. This one, definitely not for oily skin types, I would say. This is probably the thickest moisturizer that I've ever tried. It's really quite compact and thick. I will show you a texture shot for sure so that you can see what I mean. When you take it out of the jar, you really at first kind of think, oh, okay, I really have to kind of scoop this out. And I certainly was a little bit nervous with my combo skin if this would be too much. However, here's the thing about this cream, and this is, I think, why it's so incredibly popular and successful. Once you apply it to the skin, it doesn't feel heavy anymore. It really melts into skin and it doesn't have that waxiness or that really strong buttery oiliness that I don't like when it comes to balmy textures. For me, that is always too much. This sort of thicker Western moisturizers that are sold as sort of barrier repairing or balm type, oil balm type textures, they often also don't really sink into skin. This sinks into skin like a dream. It's so nice and comfortable, and it doesn't leave any fatty or tacky or oily residue on the skin either. It just kind of gets soaked into skin. My skin is always so happy when I use this and just really doesn't seem to overreact when it comes to the oil content, which is very rare for me. The only other cream that I can use for dry skin, apart from this one, is the AESTURA one. This also is very, very soothing and calming. It contains metacasicide and panthenol, two fantastic skin soothers. And just in general, it has a very comforting feel to it, especially now in the snowy, super, super cold weather. It just feels like, you know, an emollient hug when I wear this. Certainly not for oily skin. I think combo skin, if you are in winter more on the dry side, you can definitely try this out. The only warning I want to give is for those that are sensitive to fragrance. It does contain a couple of essential oils, so it might not be for everyone. It weirdly enough doesn't smell of essential oils, like at all. I don't know, so the content can't be that high, but the list of ingredients contains a couple of potentially skin aggravating essential oils, so just double check if you are okay with those. But apart from that, the ingredient list is beautiful. A lot of oils, fatty acids, and again, it is the only cream out of 2 in all of Korea that is allowed to actually claim that it repairs your skin barrier. This last moisturizer is a little bit lighter than the other 2, so I feel it is ideal, especially for mature combo skin and potentially even people with oilier skin. Though do check the ingredient list, because there are a few ingredients in there that might be a little bit too much for you. And it is a cream that I don't think many people are talking about, and I don't know why, because I really am enjoying it at the moment. It is the Goodal Apricot Collagen Youth Firming Cream, which comes in this really cute apricot collared jar. It's a glass jar, so it's a little bit more high quality. So collagen products at the moment in Korea are really, really popular. They are a little bit controversial because technically they don't really do what they kind of seem to insinuate they do, which is replenish collagen in the skin. That's not quite how that works. Collagen, from what I understand, the molecules are too large to penetrate the skin. So it's not like they can actually enter the skin barrier and then kind of be part of the collagen of the skin or something similar like that. However, collagen is a humectant, and that's probably why collagen products always feel so plumping and smoothing, because they replenish hydration in the skin. Now, the only collagen product where I feel the collagen does do something, where I feel maybe they are replenishing the collagen in the skin, is the CKD low molecular, I forgot the name, it's a really long name, but I have talked about this ampoule, the CKD ampoule with low molecular collagen. That one to me is the only collagen product that I've tried where the collagen, I swear, does somehow have some extra magic. With this cream, I don't think the collagen as such is the star of the product, but I do feel that it has a certain plumping and smoothing effect. Again, probably because it's a humectant. The reason why I really, really like this cream so much and think it's especially good for mature skin is that apart from being super plumping, noticeably plumping and smoothing, it also just gives this beautiful glow to the skin. Whenever I use this, I feel that my skin just really looks very, I have to say, very youthful. I always associate youth with a certain plumpness and also just a natural, healthy glow that you kind of lose as you age because your skin becomes drier, it becomes more dehydrated. It's a lot more difficult to add some glow. And this really does add quite a bit of glow to the skin. It isn't not a super intense glow. It is just a sort of flattering, sort of candlelit youthfulness, I feel. And that's why I really, really like it. I also really, really like this because it just feels very, very moisturizing without being heavy. It has more of a, almost like a lotiony texture. Again, I will show this in a texture shot because my camera here usually doesn't capture stuff that well from afar, but I'll show you a close-up for sure because it just has this smoothness and this sort of almost milky lotion texture. Nevertheless, it does feel very rich and nourishing. So that's why I think this one is a good one for combo skin and is also great for winter for those of you who are a little bit more on the oilier side, but also at the same time on the mature side. So that you kind of need something richer, but at the same time, you don't want to overwhelm your skin. For me, this is one of those moisturizers that provides that. And especially in the drier, colder climate and in winter, this is just a wonderful choice. This contains apricot fruit extract, which is said to be antioxidant and also naturally emollient apparently, and apricot seed oil, plus rice bran oil and moringa seed oil. So it is quite nourishing, but again, I don't feel that it's overwhelming. It's just a very elegant formula, again, very strong humectant qualities. I would say this is more hydrating than the other two creams. The other two creams are certainly more of those emollient, super occlusive, balm-like textures. This one is more like a classic hydrating cream, but it is more nourishing and moisturizing than some other more lotion-like creams that I've tried. There's more oil content in there overall. Yeah, so this one, I think, kind of underrated. I actually forgot, oh, this is embarrassing, but I forgot to check if it contains any fragrance. It's alcohol-free from what I remember. It's also a vegan formula, but I forgot to check if it's got any fragrance. I'm going to put it somewhere in the description somewhere. It's going to be somewhere here written down whether or not it contains fragrance. It doesn't smell of any fragrance, but then sometimes I'm wrong when it comes to that because I wouldn't have thought that the Real Barrier cream had any fragrance, and it does. So yeah, I'm going to double check for you and add it in the editing process. I'm going to add it. And again, I think this one, the least thick from all the three that I've introduced, and perfect for me for combo skin that is especially on the more mature side. When I say mature, I do mean sort of 30 plus. I'm not saying at 30-year-old, but you know, when you start sort of seeing those more extreme cases of dehydration and things like that. So I don't want to say that women over 30 are mature, certainly not, but I hope you know what I mean. Also, this is really important to mention, the Goodal cream contains shea butter and coconut oil. So if those are triggers for you, breakout triggers, which they sometimes can be, This might not be the cream for you if you tend to get breakouts from heavier textures. I didn't have any problem with that. Sometimes coconut oil can break me out. Shea butter too, if it's too much shea butter. This did not break me out. On the contrary, it's really, really nice for my still sometimes breakout prone skin. And again, that glow, it's just beautiful. And that was it. My 3 winter moisturizer suggestions for your winter skincare woes. And all 3 of them are very popular in Korea and not as well known, I think, here in the West as they should be, because they're excellent. I hope this was helpful for you, and I hope to see you again next week for another video. If you haven't yet, I would be super, super grateful if you could subscribe to my channel, because it's still really, really difficult to grow a channel like that in the year 2022. Wish I would have started during the pandemic. That was the time when everyone was looking up skincare content. But yeah, I would love to see you subscribe and maybe even give this a thumbs up and maybe leave a comment. The last video, I got so many lovely comments. It was a joy to read those and interact with you guys. And yeah, I see you again next week with probably more winter skincare content, because it is just so cold all of a sudden here in Germany. And until then, please do take care, and I see you. Bye.